Yeah, finally gonna wrap up this project here. Um, this is a TS483, a utilizer. Utilizer. I can't say it, but you can still see the utilizator. Yeah. Anyways, 483, 14C28N, and the issue with this knife is that these fullers are the only way in this knife. There's no, well, there's a front flipper. I take that back. So there's a front flipper, and I think I mentioned maybe in a video that the original design was that the only way you were going to get in was right there off of that front flipper. But it's got these two fullers that you can access, whether it's with a spidey flick back here or with the thumb here. But they were so smooth, the transition. There was no ledge, and so it was very difficult to open this knife, whether it was with the thumb or the spidey flick. Um, it was in my opinion, it was a fatal flaw. Just and the jimping on the spine isn't that sharp. And so the way the knife was tuned, if I remember, when I first got the knife, I could barely get in it. And so, considering how it looked, I was pretty disappointed because that's attractive to me. I mean, I kind of liked it. And so, I'm not one to get down on the negatives and tear a knife up. I'm not a knife designer, so somebody designed it and it is what it is. But even the scalloping, the jimping that was cut into the carbon fiber is really subtle. So the knife is really smooth and knocked down, but it doesn't provide a grip. Like you can't hold on to the knife. So, anyways, I faced with all that, I was really frustrated with this and couldn't really use the knife, couldn't get into the knife, so I butchered it. I just got after it, man. I used some grinding wheels and a bunch of different stuff and tried to get in there. Well, and then I chewed up the surface of the blade. It was horrible and beat up. So I decided to bead blast the blade, which hid a lot of the imperfections that I put into it. I took a file. I say a file, but I have a jeweler saw, and you can buy these wires, these diamond impregnated wires, in different thicknesses. And so I used this to modify jimping. And I have different sizes that go from, like, I think 1 millimeter way down. And so I'll modify jimping on a blade. So I modified the jimping on this knife just at the top, like about that much of it right there. I expanded it, deepened it, and made it sharp. If you look from the side, you can kind of see this is all stock jimping here. And then what, like 4 jimps right there. Is that what you'd say? 4 jimps? But anyways, these very top ones, I deepened them and sharpened them. Well, that helped because then I could consistently use that front flipper just by cleaning this up, the jimping. Well, but then I had butchered the blade and done some stuff. So I decided to bead blast that blade. And I didn't hate the way it looked. It was really an inconsistent job that I did on it, but I didn't hate the way it looked. And this side was still stock. So what I decided was I was going to take it down to my shop and see if I can't use my die grinder and really try to cut that ledge in. So that's what I did today. I spent some time on this and sanded it and used my die grinder and little sandpaper wheels and got that ledge way more pronounced. And then I sandblasted the whole blade. And so and then I came back and I used my belt system, and I sharpened it. And yeah, so I put a wicked polished edge on it. Let's see if I can zoom in and we get a really good look at that polish on there. I figured out on these polished edges that if I'll just zoom in, I can show them, because man, I've struggled in the past. But yeah, that thing, instead of using that fix system, because I've used that fix system a couple of times recently, and I really like it. But on this one, I didn't want to spend all that much time on it. So this represents about maybe 15 minutes worth of work. Maybe. And it had no edge on it. So out of that 15 minutes, I'm going to say, I don't know, 5 minutes or so was just getting that original edge profiled, because it was very dull. It had tore the edge clean off it. And so now it's sticky and shiny. Yeah, so I think the question is now, am I done with it? And I think once I chewed it up and I got it looking so horrible, I did kind of decide that if I could make it functional, I would just clean it up and then turn it into a work knife. Like legit, this will get used, abused and beat up, and it is what it is. Because I thought, man, I could come in here with a grinding wheel and I could probably deepen these and sharpen these, but I don't think I'll ever make that look refined. I'm just not set up to, all I can do is freehand it with a die grinder, and of course it looks wickedly abused. It does function, but it doesn't look like much. So yeah, I think I'm done with it. I think it's just going to be a work knife, and if I'm going out to work on my property on a Saturday or whatever, this may be a knife that goes in my pocket, because I can chop with this. It's big enough. I can chop with it. I can cut twine, or if let's say I'm brush hogging or something and I run over some rope, I can get in there and dig with this. Who cares? Yeah, so I think it's just going to be a good beater work knife. But I did get to play with some stuff that I've been wanting to work on. I've got my sandblaster set up, and I've done a few knives. The scales, I've sandblasted them. So this, if you remember, this was really shiny, and it's stainless, but I sandblasted it, and I like the texture on it. So I may go back and make it even more rough, like do a really blasted finish on it. But yeah, so I got to play with that, and I got to polish the edge. I got my die grinders and was grinding on this hardened steel. So yeah, I got to play around. Anyways, we are going to wrap this project. I almost wrapped it and didn't show you, but I thought, I don't know, somebody might be paying attention to how I butchered this thing. And so, let's end it properly. It really is a nice knife. I like it. I mean, it gets bonus points for here. It's big. It's, that 14C, I dig it. I thought about tumbling the blade now and putting a nice stonewash finish on it, which would kind of, it would be a half satin finish. And it would look a lot better than this, but I think it fits the rugged, beat up nature of the knife. So I think I'm going to leave it blasted the way it is. Anyways, let's call this finito. The TS483 bead blast semi-improvement, modification. All right. Hey, I appreciate y'all watching, and anybody that's followed along, hopefully you're happy to see the end of it. But I don't know, maybe somebody wants it. You know, so hey, if somebody wants this knife and they're excited for it, let me know. We'll see what we can do. All right. Hey, I appreciate y'all watching.